What's up, everybody? It's Robotnik Gaming, and I'm back here on Majora's Minions, accompanied by DK64 Galaxy. Today we're gonna have another discussion video about Earthbound. Now, Earthbound is a well-known game. It's appeared on many lists to be one of the greatest games of all time. So we're just gonna be talking about that. So yeah, anything you want to say, DK, before we get started?
Really, just that Earthbound. If you've watched, I guess, the Earthbound fans, you know they're dedicated. You know Earthbound fans see what Earthbound really is. Like, they go into the deep meaning of what Earthbound is. And many have said that Earthbound is possibly one of the greatest games ever created. And I agree. Not just one of the greatest RPGs, but it definitely is one of the greatest video games made of all time.
Yeah, I can't deny that at all.
Now, in general, what were we gonna say?
So do you want to start the discussion, DK?
I guess, yeah, let's go ahead and start it. Now, Earthbound, I'm not up to date as much as Earthbound fans in the meaning that I don't know that much of the deep meaning of Earthbound. I did beat Earthbound. I was gonna do a lot of... Me and Donkey Kazooie in the past were planning on doing actually a Let's Play of Earthbound. We recorded episode 1 and 2, but, Donkey Kazooie never showed up for any of the rest of them, so I kind of just deleted those videos off Majora's Minions. But after beating Earthbound personally myself, I think really the story of Earthbound, like the completionist said in his episode of That One Video Gamer, the completionist, Earthbound is a story about what happens when you're emotionally uncontrollable or unstable and you're given power, meaning Porky's story. Porky, as you see in the beginning of the game, he's in a, I guess, messed up household. Supposedly the dad abuses Porky, as you see. He beats the two brothers, and when he takes them to the room, the mom, I assume, doesn't care from what I remember. And the dad, he's kind of a jerk, and I remember in the beginning of the game, Porky's dad tells you that, to Ness, he says, your dad owes us a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. And during the game, Porky's dad ends up leaving the family, and if you stick around after the end of Earthbound, you could roam around the town after you beat Gygus, and you see Porky's mom has a new husband. And so, in general, like the completionist said, Earthbound is kind of not just on one side, it is a story about growing up, aka Ness, but on the other half of Earthbound, it's the story of, like I said, someone emotionally uncontrollable. What happens when they get this immense amount of power Gygus given to Porky? It's similar to Skull Kid, how he had no friends because he kept pranking them. No one liked him. He was sad, crying in the rain, and then Majora's Mask came along when he stole it. It's the same concept. Someone emotionally uncontrollable gets godlike power.
Yeah. I can't imagine what somebody emotionally like that would do once they get a lot of power. They could do a lot of bad things, just like in Earthbound. So, moving on from the deep story, now let's talk about Gygus. Now, Gygus, he doesn't really have a form. He's just pure evil. There's a lot of, dark art about him, and I can't deny that, because just in general, he's a really dark character, and there's a lot more to him than just being evil. So, I've heard a lot of, people say that he's dark. There's more to him than you see.
Well, yeah, because
people think
he's meaning everyone that Gygus is literally the embodiment of evil. That's what Robotnik Gaming's referring to.
Yeah, and even at the end of Earthbound, spoiler alert, Gygus dies, but other people are speculating, and I'm one of those people. I don't think Gygus dies because, an embodiment of evil can't die like that. Like, an entity can't just die. I don't think he's dead. What do you think, DK? What do you think?
No, I think Gygus is literally, supposedly, from what I've researched, probably at least the top 5 or top 3 most powerful video game beings. because Gygas, like I said before, he is literally the embodiment of evil, and so I don't think he's really dead either. I'm going with those fans who don't really think he's dead, because really, I mean, first of all, you had to stop Gygas to go in his weakest state, and you went if you know Earthbound, you had to go in a robot body to stop Gygas, to go through the phase disorder. Then you went back in time and you went to fight Gygas, and he is he's a literal dimension, he's a literal universe. Gygas is everything, really, like, in the terms of, he doesn't really have a form, and he's the embodiment of evil. I've already said it like 50 times, but I don't really think he's dead. I mean, I think I saw this fan theory or something that after Gygas died and Porky, of course, is still alive, I think Porky has a part of Gygas in him, and I know they're not making a Mother 4, probably they won't ever, but I think if they were to continue that, and if they continued the storyline with Porky, I think something with Gygas will happen. I don't know. I know this is just weird speculation, and this is not really super on topic with the Earthbound story, but in general, Gygas is a very interesting villain, which has a lot of backstory. I guess we should talk about him, Gygas. Before he became Gygas, he was simply known as Gyg.
Yeah, and I don't think that there's any connection to Gygas in Mother 3 because I haven't played it yet. But I'm just curious to see what happened to him. But of course, Nintendo's just gonna stay quiet about that. So what else can we talk about?
Gyg.
Yeah.
Well, in Mother 1, before, you see Gygas, but you don't see him as this distorted evil thing. You just see him as this, like, Mewtwo-esque alien, and he has high PSI power, like Ness, except Mother 1 takes place way in the past, before Earthbound happens. I think, I don't know, somewhere, I forgot the title screen, but all I know is it's before Ness's time, and Gygas stopped by Ninten. I think the whole story with that, how he became Gygas, is because the Apple of Enlightenment, it's called, told Gyg that one day a boy named Ness would stop him. So Gyg went to attack the Earth early, before that prophecy could come true. But instead of a boy named Ness stopped him, a boy named Ninten stopped him, aka the main character in Mother 1. And so Gyg, I forgot really how the story goes, but he eventually finds this ultimate power, becomes the very embodiment of evil, can't control it, and yada yada. If you played Earthbound, that's basically really the story of Gyg/Gygas.
Yeah, and I mean, I wish I could play Mother 1, but I don't think there's an English translated version of it.
Yeah, in the Wii U eShop.
Yeah.
It got ported to the Wii U.
Maybe. Wait, what were you gonna say?
It got ported to the Wii U like a long time ago.
Oh, alright. So maybe we'll see. I'll see if I can download it, and maybe me and DK can try to beat it, then we'll do a discussion video about that. Like, just in general, I think Earthbound, just the whole like series, like Mother 1, Mother 2, Mother 3, are probably one of the most interesting game storylines of all time. Because, like, there's a deep meaning behind every game. And, like, just like any other good game is supposed to do, it leaves you questioning at the end. So, is there anything else you would like to say, DK?
Well, there's a lot more to talk about Earthbound. Let me ask you, since you've beaten the game, what do you think about Earthbound in total? In depth, I guess.
And Earthbound, I think, is probably my favorite game of all time, but besides that, just the meaning behind Earthbound and the story, I think Earthbound, without a doubt, is probably the most interesting game of all time. And I think, like, no game can top Earthbound, in my opinion. There probably is. But I just think Earthbound is just simply like a masterpiece. It's a work of art. There's nothing wrong about Earthbound. It's just a great game that I think anyone can enjoy.
Yeah, in general, Earthbound is probably a top 5 game for me. I mean, Earthbound did definitely not set the standard, but in a way it did, because Earthbound is kind of its own genre of RPG in the fact that games like Undertale and stuff are in the same vein of Earthbound, in that it's quirky and it's a funny type game, and the story, if you look at it, if you glance at the story, it doesn't look that deep, but when you actually get into the story, it is pretty deep, aka Undertale / Earthbound. So those type of games, Earthbound probably started that all. Well, technically Mother 1 started that, but in general, I would say Earthbound is probably the best Super Nintendo game in my opinion. But in general, for Super Nintendo, let me get off track for a sec. I probably like Mario RPG the same, but that's a different discussion for a different day. But let's talk about, I guess, Mother 3 coming here, supposedly.
Yeah. If they port Mother 3 to the Wii U, because I heard that it's going to be ported to the eShop. If they do, then obviously that would be a smart move by Nintendo, but there already is an English translated version for the Game Boy. So, unless you don't have one, I would probably buy it for my Wii U since I don't have a Game Boy.
Well, you mean fans translated it to the Game Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo has never ever translated Mother 3 into English yet.
Yeah. But if it does come out on the Wii U, if the rumors are true, then without a doubt, I'm going to download the game.
Yeah, same here, but in general, what else is there to talk about Earthbound? I mean, you've beaten it more recently than me, so what else do you have to say?
The RPG, like the enemies that you encounter, it's like none other enemies that you can encounter in any other game. There are hippies that you encounter, Starman. There are like different types of Starmans. There's like a Starman Deluxe, a Ghost Starman, which is my favorite type of Starman. There's your regular Starman. I think there's a Starman Junior, and there's probably way more Starman to talk about. But I just think the game has so much creativity built into it. It has like all these different enemies you can battle. I think the person who made the game has like a great imagination. Like, who would ever think that you would battle like a pogo stick enemy? I think is one of the parts in the game. You battle like a pogo stick enemy. Who would think that you battle hippies or stuff like that? Like I've never thought about that. But Earthbound in general is like a creative game that has a lot of creative enemies in it.
Yeah, in general, like he said, you fight different enemies. For instance, you fight aliens, you fight robots, you fight pedestrians, you fight animals. You fight almost anything really, and you fight the freaking the very embodiment of evil. You fight that. And Earthbound, it's all over the place while being a great game. And games nowadays don't really, how do I say this? Games nowadays who try to add too many elements in like that usually don't succeed that well, in the fact that they tried to do too much and they failed at it. But I think Earthbound in general succeeds in adding variety.
Yeah. Like, if you haven't played Earthbound and you have a Wii U, that's like a definite game to buy off the eShop. It's just $10, so like, why not buy it?
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
I think that concludes our discussion on Earthbound. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and subscribe for more weekly Majora's Minions videos. Falcon and DK have their own videos, and me and Falcon are gonna start doing weekly top fives every Friday. So be on the lookout for that.
Don't you mean every Wednesday?
That's it. What?
You mean Wednesday, because Fridays are the me and Falcon days.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Wednesdays. Me and Falcon have our top fives every Wednesdays. So I think that's all. Is there anything else you would like to say, DK?
No, not really. Just that Earthbound's one of the greatest games of all time.
Yep. So, I guess I'm Robotnik Gaming.
And I'm DK's Galaxy.
See you in the next one, guys.